Letter 15. To the Honourable Daines Barrington, Selborne, July 8, 1773. Dear Sir, some young men went down lately to a pond on the verge of Wolmer Forest to hunt flappers, or young wild ducks, many of which they caught, and among the rest some very minute yet well-fledged wild fowls alive, which upon examination I found to be teals. I did not know till then that teals ever bred in the south of England, and was much pleased with the discovery. This I look upon as a great stroke in natural history. We have had, ever since I can remember, a pair of white owls that constantly breed under the eaves of this church. As I have paid good attention to the manner of life of these birds during their season of breeding, which lasts the summer through, the following remarks may not perhaps be unacceptable. About an hour before sunset, for then the mice begin to run, they sally forth in quest of prey, and hunt all round the hedges of meadows and small enclosures for them, which seem to be their only food. In this irregular country we can stand on an eminence and see them beat the fields over like a setting dog, and often drop down in the grass or corn. I have minuted these birds with my watch for an hour together, and have found that they return to their nests, the one or the other of them, about once in 5 minutes, reflecting at the same time on the adroitness that every animal is possessed of as regards the well-being of itself and offspring. But a piece of address which they show when they return loaded should not, I think, be passed over in silence. As they take their prey with their claws, so they carry it in their claws to their nest. But, as the feet are necessary in their ascent under the tiles, they constantly perch first on the roof of the chancel, and shift the mouse from their claws to their bill, that the feet may be at liberty to take hold of the plate on the walls as they are rising under the eaves. White owls seem not, but in this I am not positive, to hoot at all. All that clamorous hooting appears to me to come from the wood kinds. The white owl does indeed snore and hiss in a tremendous manner, and these menaces well answer the intention of intimidating, for I have known a whole village up in arms on such an occasion, imagining the churchyard to be full of goblins and spectres. White owls also often scream horribly as they fly along. From this screaming probably arose the common people's imaginary species of screech owl, which they superstitiously think attends the windows of dying persons. The plumage of the remiges of the wings of every species of owl that I have yet examined is remarkably soft and pliant. Perhaps it may be necessary that the wings of these birds should not make much resistance or rushing, that they may be enabled to steal through the air unheard upon a nimble and watchful quarry. While I am talking of owls, it may not be improper to mention what I was told by a gentleman of the country of Wilts. As they were grubbing a vast hollow pollard ash that had been the mansion of owls for centuries, he discovered at the bottom a mass of matter that at first he could not account for. After examination he found it was a congeries of the bones of mice, and perhaps of birds and bats, that had been heaping together for ages, being cast up in pellets out of the crops of many generations of inhabitants. For owls cast up the bones, fur, and feathers of what they devour, after the manner of hawks. He believes, he told me, that there were bushels of this kind of substance. Now, When brown owls hoot, their throats swell as big as a hen's egg. I have known an owl of this species live a full year without any water. Perhaps the case may be the same with all birds of prey. When owls fly, they stretch out their legs behind them as a balance to their large, heavy heads. For as most nocturnal birds have large eyes and ears, they must have large heads to contain them. Large eyes, I presume, are necessary to collect every ray of light, and large concave ears to command the smallest degree of sound or noise. The hirundines are a most inoffensive, harmless, entertaining, social, and useful tribe of birds. They touch no fruit in our gardens, delight all except one species in attaching themselves to our houses, amuse us with their migrations, songs, and marvelous agility, and clear our outlets from the annoyances of gnats and other troublesome insects. Some districts in the South Seas, near Guayaquil, are desolated, it seems, by the infinite swarms of venomous mosquitoes which fill the air and render those coasts insupportable. Footnote. See Ulloa's Travels. End note. It would be worth inquiring whether any species of hirundines is found in those regions. Whoever contemplates the myriads of insects that sport in the sunbeams of a summer evening in this country will soon be convinced to what a degree our atmosphere would be choked with them, was it not for the friendly interposition of the swallow tribe. Many species of birds have their particular lice, but the hirundines alone seem to be annoyed with dipterous insects, which infest every species, and are so large, in proportion to themselves, that they must be truly irksome and injurious to them. These are the hippoboscae hirundines with narrow subulated wings abounding in every nest, and are hatched by the warmth of the bird's own body during incubation, and crawl about under its feathers. A species of them is familiar to horsemen in the south of England under the name of forest fly, and to some of side fly, from its running sideways like a crab. It creeps under the tails and about the groins of horses, which, at their first coming out of the north, are rendered half frantic by the tickling sensation, while our own breed little regards them. The curious Reamer discovered the large eggs, or rather pupae, of these flies, as big as the flies themselves, which he hatched in his own bosom. Any person that will take the troup to examine the old nests of either species of swallows may find in them the black shining cases of the pupae of these insects. But for other particulars, too long for this place, we refer the reader to l'Histoire des Insectes of that admirable entomologist. Book 4. We refer the reader to l'Histoire des Insectes of that admirable entomologist. Book 4. PIII.